live reading. I was bored. I just finished making some candles. If you are following me on Instagram, you might stay up to date to what I'm doing. I'm usually just pulling daily cards, sometimes even a weekly card. I've been starting to make some candles. More information will be there soon, but they will be available on my web shop that I will edit and prepare. This is an example, but this was a failed candle though. I was like, you know what, let me just burn it today. I'm gonna eat tangerine. But this candle, yeah, I've been trying to play with wax. So I've been using soy wax. I've been just using paraffin wax. Paraffin wax is better for candles with a mold because they just stay sturdy. When I put them in a container, like object like this, I can literally just pull them out of the jar. And of course, I don't want that because that doesn't fit not only the aesthetic, but also it's not how I desire my product to look like. So yeah, I just felt like going live for weeks, actually, a week or two. I've been pretty busy, just working on other stuff that didn't include doing readings. And just now I just realized, let me just go live for a little bit. So turned on this candle, wrapped my brand a little bit, peeling this tangerine. And we're just gonna pull some cards today because the 1111 portal just happened, just passed. The energy is still gonna be in the air. Hello and welcome. So the 1111 portal just passed. The energy is still gonna be in the air. Hey, thank you for the like. Welcome. I'm just gonna do a live. Hop right in. And there's Mercury retrograde, so I am really excited to see what kind of energy is in the air and what we are. How do I wave back? I don't know how to wave back. Anyway. Oh, yeah. Exactly. So, let's see what energy is in the air. Let me just wipe the table. And see what we need. All right. And what's coming? What do we need to know? The Chariot. All right. So there's movement, okay? We're going to expand. We're going to move forward. But there's more to this moving forward. We're going to move forward with the wisdom of the phases of our lives, okay? Emotional. Oh my lord. I'm seeing something very pretty. I don't know if you can see it on camera. Okay, so because I'm not sure if it's sharp enough. If you have this deck, the Rider-Waite, you see on the shoulder of the Chariot these blue wrinkles in his fabric. But if you look closely, they look like moons, yeah, on both sides. And they look like faces. The blue represents a face. So this can also represent the phases of your differences through every phase of the moon. So emotional changes, how they come forward in your identity. So there's going to be a change in your identity that's going to come. Very interesting. Let me, yes. So, yes. Let's see. The Knight of Cups on the bottom. So there's this misunderstanding. You're making yourself smaller than you actually are, okay? So there is a change you need to make. You're struggling to see yourself from a different perspective here. You're struggling to believe the wisdom that you hold and have, that it's from a higher level of consciousness. So you're kind of, yes, ooh, as the Hierophant. Ooh, this is just screaming you're playing smaller than you actually are. And you're also showing a different personality. Like, these are 4 different characters. With the 4 of coins, 4 different phases. You're struggling to combine all these different versions of yourself for the outer world. But with the upcoming energy, you're going to learn how to combine them all and use that as a real example of your personality and your identity, your character. Clarify the Chariot. Let's see what else is. The Queen of Cups, the King of Cups, and the Eight of Wands. So there is going to be maturity, emotional maturity. Your gifts could be evolving, your psychic gifts, your spiritual gifts are evolving. The way that you love yourself, your changes on morals and values will be growing. They're going to expand. And it might feel, or you might think, that there is going to be an ending of some sort, because you can't really pinpoint that there is going to be change that's going to come. And because you don't know that it's going to be change and it's going to be good change, you misinterpret it as something bad. Okay? And this also means that you might be going through a rough patch right now, of which you don't understand why there are certain things that are ending, things aren't really working out, you might feel betrayed or like left alone. The Ten of Swords is also giving me the energy of being left behind in a ditch. So you could feel like people have abandoned you or left you kind of to die. It's really sad actually, but they kind of left you to your own, how do I say that? They just left you to your demise, you know? Was that the proper word? I don't know. But they just left you for dead. Let's just keep it at that. And from the Eight of Wands to the Ten of Swords is the Two of Swords. So you're not seeing that you're actually evolving. Okay, so this is something revolutionary. You're experiencing an ending right now, but it's actually making you grow. Okay, so there is going to be a rebirth after this ending that you don't understand is going to be for your benefit. And also from the 7 to the 8, from the Chariot to the 8 is also from the Magician. No, it's from the Chariot to the Strength, and then that's the Magician. It's number 1. It's in between. So you're not understanding that you're combining with those 4 faces that you have. I'm just doing this because it's not really like you have 4 different personalities, like a diagnose or something, right? It's more so you have different ways of expressing yourself, and 4 different ways are the most dominant ways. Now you're going to learn how to combine all of those 4 ways and make it one. Just expressing yourself in the way that you are, not per se shifting who you are in character when you change from your friend group or scenery or a different location or a club or a job. You're going to keep the same self that you show to the world at every different place. And that's going to be the beauty of it. But it's also asking of you to put an ending behind certain ways of being that you are right now, and that's what you're experiencing, and you're experiencing it through emotional growth, maturity, emotional maturity. Pardon me. So yeah, what's behind the Ten of Swords is the Four of Cups. I'm not surprised. So because you're yeah, the King of Swords, your masculine energy, your masculine energy is not processing this experience as something positive or emotional. And the reason for it is because, yeah, I don't want to say, like, the word short-sighted is coming up, but I don't want to say short-sighted, but it's more so I want to say you're just so used to rationalize everything you're integrating when it comes to information. So also when you're experiencing emotions, well, actually not experiencing emotions, you tell yourself you're experiencing an emotion, but you're actually rationalizing it. So you're trying to understand it by naming it, defining it, doing actually everything except for really feeling it. Okay. And when you do that, you start to suppress your energy. Okay. That's that emotional energy. And because of that suppression and your logical or rational sense of self that can't or doesn't see emotions as, or doesn't have the space, I'm also hearing, that doesn't see emotions or doesn't have the space for emotions to, I have to make two sentences actually, doesn't have the space for the emotions right now to hold them, but also for some, you don't see an emotion as something you move through, you don't see it as something you feel, or I don't know what it is, but I'm feeling like this kind of collective that resonates with this story, you don't really feel feelings because they feel yucky or ill. Like you don't know how to get rid of them. Like it's not so that you don't understand energy, but there's something fundamental about energy that you don't understand yet. And that's why you're avoiding some things within the energy. And you know, emotion is energy in itself and it's very strong. So you're kind of trying to avoid emotions. I'm hearing avoiding it at all costs. So it can also be emotions for something or a different person or a situation that you just don't want to engage with. And what it's actually doing is it's making you believe and think that you're going to a headspace or a mind space where you resolved a problem. But in actuality, you're suppressing the problem by just deviating the thought. You're turning it into something else to make yourself believe that you already processed it, but you're actually ignoring it. So we're going to figure out what this is, because what it's doing is it's pushing you into hermit energy. It's asking of you to isolate, to become antisocial, to feel neglected, alone, to feel like you're carrying the weight of the world on your shoulders. And it might feel dark and gray around you, and you don't really know what to do with it, but just to sit in it. And that's why you feel like there are endings, you're being betrayed, there's something that doesn't look good for you in the future. So we're going to figure out what is going on, because on the contrary, or this is a love reading, what you're actually going through is no, or the last oh wait, or what it is that you're just moving. Oh, I got distracted. It's either a love reading or that you're now going to realize that you're moving to a different space in life and you're not seeing the transformation. So it's like you're blinded by the fact that you're growing, and because you don't, like, you've never experienced this type of growth, like that this transformation on the inside, this rebirth felt so physically even, or physiologically, neurologically, psychically disturbing or painful, or that you could feel it and sense it in your muscles, you know, or you could have been in a burnout or something like that. And you think that there's an ending for you, like something isn't working out for you, but in fact everything is working out the way it's supposed to be. And you're learning how to now, after all the things you've learned, for example, the last couple of 10 years, you're going to become that person that you've learned to become in one, instead of just learning, collecting the information, keeping it with you, learning, collecting the information, keeping it with you. Now you integrated all that information, and now you're going to become that person based off of all that information that you processed over that amount of time. And it's for everybody different. It's a collective reading. So for some people, it can be the last 2 years, the last 5 years. For others, it can be the last 20 years. Take what resonates and what feels true to your belly, or to a different place in your body where you know your intuition is really true and talking to you. So I actually kind of want to see what this Four of Cups is. So yeah, it's with the Two of Coins behind it. So whatever this is going through, it's making you look down on yourself, making you look down on your achievements with the High Priestess. With the High Priestess, with the Empress. So your intuition is also already telling you this. So I'm actually doing this reading, but it's confirmation for somebody that you knew better, but you needed something from the outside to really confirm for you that what you're feeling is true. And that's fine. But just make sure that over time, the more you learn to discern and listen to your inner voice, to be independent when it comes to advice and confirmation. Because you don't want to be the person that constantly seeks validation or confirmation outside of you, since it's contradictive of trust. Because trusting yourself, trusting your intuition, means only listening to what you feel is the truth and what your inner voice is guiding you to do. So then if you want validation from the outside, it's like, I don't trust myself, so let me ask somebody else. And that's the same for people who, for example, watch too much readings or constantly go to a psychic to confirm things when they know in their gut that it's true. That's why I said the High Priestess, you already knew it because you already spoke it out to yourself. It already came to light. Your intuition showed it to you, but you are not believing yourself. And that's because of this energy. So some people could have or are experiencing imposter syndrome. So that's like, also you're not believing, like you think you're lying to yourself about who you are or what you've experienced, what you have achieved, but you actually came really far with the Empress. So let's see where the Two of Swords is in the deck, so we can identify what this blinded energy is, right? Like, why are you blinded or thinking that what you're seeing is not the truth? Yeah, readings go pretty fast. It's already 20 minutes. And I almost solely pulled out 4 cards. And I'm going to identify... Oh my god, look! The High Priestess in front of the Six of Swords. And the Six of Swords, that's the energy that I just explained. That's the energy that you tell yourself, like, oh, it's fine. I already figured it out. I already know what's going to happen. But you're just doing that to kind of cut corners. Let's keep it at that. You're trying to cut corners in your own mind, like avoiding the work. Okay, where's the Two of Swords? Because now I want to know. It's like, this is a personal reading, like about self-development, but it's also, yeah, the Page of Wands and the Eight of Swords behind it, you see? So, but this could be a love reading as well. So we're going to figure it out. I'm not going to make it a long reading, no. So this is why you are thinking or feeling like you're going through endings or betrayal, or you should, how do I say that? You should feel abandoned or give up on certain ideas with the Ten of Swords on the bottom. Like, you might feel, and this is exactly one of the faces, the moon of the faces on the chariot that we saw in the beginning. This reading is beautiful, Spirit. It's very clear. It's differently clear, like subliminal. But this is like one of the faces that you have. This is part of your character as well. It can be one of your shadows. One of your shadows as a collective, as a watcher, including myself, because I resonate, of course. You might be somebody that believes or thinks that... No, not believes or thinks. That you're somebody that when you're high in emotion, your emotion, because you're empathetic and you feel so much, it oversees your logic sometimes. So you can't really think clear or make the right decisions. And it's because of your emotion, because you're feeling a lot and you don't really know how to guide those feelings. You don't really know how to guide your feelings or steer them correctly. And that's totally fine because that's how you learn, okay? So you're becoming aware of that. So you're in the process of learning how to guide them. And because you don't know how to guide them, they get very overwhelming to the point where you kind of get into a freeze mode or you get stuck in your head, okay? And there are two ways. You tell yourself, okay, no, wait. Because it's so trippy. The energy is very double. There are two sides of you being over emotional. Either completely freezing yourself in thought and thinking about all the worst ways of possibility that can be coming up to you, and you're completely in freeze mode, survival mode, and keeping yourself, pardon me, from being secure and confident. You struggle with finding out the truth or believing the truth, and the truth is that you have this is the other way. The truth, this is what you always stay in between. And the truth, what you struggle to believe in, is that you don't have all the complete facts, but you do have enough to begin, right? But because you tell yourself, I don't have all the facts, I just have a little bit of the details, because he's looking at only the top of the wand. You, how do I say that? You do yourself short by saying that, because you're downplaying the ability that, okay, you only focus on these small details, okay, like a smaller plan. That was a gnet. So that means that there's a monitoring spirit or a kind of energy that constantly wants you to trip on your own truth. Like they want you to doubt yourself. So we'll get to that. But you are always downplaying yourself by telling yourself, I don't have enough information, I don't have enough time, I don't have enough skills, I don't have enough techniques, or you always talk in lack about yourself. And especially when it comes to energy, time, resources. You always tell yourself you don't have enough of the materials, you don't have enough time, you don't have the energy for it. And that's how you keep yourself stuck in between these two worlds of like, yeah, spirit wants to say commotion, because it's either you don't have enough time and you're stuck, or it's either, oh, I'm too insecure for it, I don't have the money for it, I'm not stable enough. You do yourself very short by going back and forth into a narrative that's destructive in both ways, when you can actually make something positive out of this. If we would turn it around and look at the possibility of something positive. First of all, okay, you're stuck and you're frozen, whatever the freak. But one truth is that you can free yourself. You can set yourself free, because all of these swords, you can literally cut yourself free. So that means that whatever these fears are that you think about constantly and talk about confidence issues, I don't have proper style, or I don't have the right clothing or the accessories to look good or go to this event, I don't have the money. You do have probably the job, but you need to save. You probably have the outfit, but you need to put more effort into making it into a cute set. So there is an opening here, okay? In all of these thoughts that you overthink, there's always a loophole and opening, and even you know it. But because you keep telling yourself then as like a sub argument, well, no, but it's because I don't have the time or the energy or the resources, and that's how you keep going back and forth, instead of just saying, okay, well, actually I can resolve it, so then it will work. And believing that and telling yourself every time, instead of that fear, it's not going to work, you just reprogram yourself and say, wait, but I do have this, so it will work. changing that narrative. Same with this. You might not have the resources now, but you have something else that can, over time, help you to eventually build those resources. You have the ability, the power, and the wisdom, the knowledge right now, and the activities, or the active ability. So you probably have the connections, the networks, the social branding, the skills, the people around you, the community. You have that to really start something and even to learn from whatever it is you're telling yourself you're blocked by. It's so weird, but almost every time, yeah, I knew it. Almost every time when I come live, like, not almost every time, but most of the time, I hear or feel like somebody's just watching my videos and just chanting over my video. It's really. And then when I split the deck, it was like justice. So it's like true. But it's more so, why would you do that to yourself? Okay. So, exactly. Most High says, get a grip, motherfucker. I'm watching for 25 minutes straight. Oh, it's complicated, trust me. What is complicated? Welcome, underground viral. 6 of Cups. It's complicated because that's how you respond to yourself. So that's also that's your karmic lesson. You know what, if you know about karma and dharma, so your soul needs to learn in this life, underground viral, that the way that you respond to your emotions, and you can respond in different ways. You can respond with an action, with a sentence, a word, a thought. The way that you respond to your emotions, they bring back your reality to you. So your karmic lesson would be to watch out with how you respond back to an emotion. If somebody is sad, or if you feel sad about something, let's keep it to a person as an example. If you're sad about something, you can tell yourself, you can shrug it off as an action, literally shrug it off and be like, nah, fuck that. Or you can think, wait, you sit still, you embrace yourself, literally holding your body activity, asking, why am I sad? And then you feel the emotion and you start to cry, and then you let the emotion happen for what it is. Then your action is surrendering. So when you surrender, you experience that emotion, you process it, and you can let it go again. Because an emotion is energy and it moves through your body, but it won't move through your body if you don't feel it. And that's why we are it's very common for us people to hold on to trauma, because we are protecting ourselves from the pain that it can do to our body, right? And our psyche and our mind and our heart. And that's completely fair. But eventually, when you move out of an environment that's not traumatic or bad for you, there's a safe space. And when you're in that safe space, feeling all of that emotions by regulating your nervous system, and your nervous system is kind of the mattress where all that trauma is resting on top of, regulating it by feeling all that trauma in that safe space is going to help you release it, because it's energy that's going to move out of your body. It can come in the shape of shaking. For example, sometimes when you cry and you talk about something that really hurts you, the shaking is the release of the energy in your body. It can be bad breathing. It can be a panic attack. That means that the trauma corrupted your heart energetically in such a way that it blocked you from receiving breath. So really feeling those emotions and kind of visualizing them as a flow or a stream of water moving through you, whether it's a thunderstorm on sea or a little creek in the forest, you know, like every emotion is different, but feeling it and letting it go through you and passing it through you is going to have a positive effect, and it's also going to bring back a different reality, because you're going to show the universe that you trust what it's giving you. And you're trusting what it's giving you is going to magnify not only that connection you have with the divine, but also your faith, your hope, your confidence. And then slowly you'll see that when you do one thing that's positive, but it might be very intense or weightful, or like you're saying, complicated, when you finish the job and you done that deed, it's going to have a domino effect on all the other things in your life that will have a positive feedback as well, or a positive result, and will respond back with growth as well and evolution. So in different words, I know it's complicated because I've been there, but telling yourself it's complicated is not going to make it less complicated. It's not going to make it less difficult. It's not going to make it less hard or less sad or less painful. It's not going to add anything positive. So why focusing on that narrative when you can also focus on something else, like I can do it? And that's a narrative that's positive and also gives you a more uplifting surge of energy, instead of saying it's complicated. Because if you tell yourself it's complicated, you're actually saying to yourself, it's complicated, so I probably won't make it. Or it's complicated, that's why it's not working. Like, you don't know what your subconscious is thinking or how you're finishing your own sentence subconsciously. And paying attention to that, that is becoming aware and consciously aware. Literally before you're going, even me right now, that's why I'm like picking out my words, trying to come across, being aware of what I'm trying to tell you on this live. Everybody who's watching, thank you, by the way. It's important to become aware of what I'm about to say, and being aware of that is by thinking what I want to share, what I'm about to say, what I want to say. And when you're aware of what you want to say, you can also be aware of what you're about to do, what you're about to feel. I don't know what that is. Okay, so when you are aware of what you want to say, you also become aware of what you're going to experience, how you're going to feel certain sensations in your body, how you're going to discern an emotion, or you will become aware of what emotion you should accept or what truth you should accept, you know. Also, sometimes when you have conversations with people and they try to give you advice, becoming aware is also becoming aware of what advice would fit with you and what doesn't. So, okay, let's see if this is a love reading or personal, because there's something, yeah, it's giving more so personal with the Magician. So it's about your character, your personality. So this 1111 portal and this Mercury retrograde are going to bring a very, very, very big development and revolutionary change in your personality and character collective. It's going to call in a lot of power, especially coming from your emotional self. You're becoming more mature and you're protecting yourself and other people by standing up for your truth. And not only standing up for your truth, but also yeah, I'm hearing Avatar The Last Airbender. Like, you will learn all of the elements. So the element of fire, that's the element of action and energy. And you have the element of water, that's the element of love and spirituality, religion. And then you have the element of air, that's the element of thinking, communicating, knowledge. And then, yeah, because I channeled it. And then you have the element of coins. That's the element of, that's the energy of finances, reality, money, confidence, clothes, stability, housing. So you being who you originally are, yeah, your real authentic person, yeah, your authentic self, being the person who walks in the room and people immediately they gag or they shock, or being the person who has such a strong confidence, or aura that people always talk to you, you know, all of that, of who you are, you claiming that and being that person out loud is going to help you align all of those elements and call in that dream that you always wanted. There's something, a goal that you have in mind, and you have kind of prepared your whole life to live in a way to keep and maintain that goal, not only achieve it, because that's, of course, that's what you're made for. You see, it's the narrative. So, but it's about maintaining it. You're going to move into something. Let's see what it is. Yeah, the only thing that's effing you up, this is the Six of Swords, the Five of Swords, and the Ace of Swords. It's you don't want to believe in the truth that you're gonna make it. That even if it looks effed up right now, or even if you think that you don't lack the information, or that you don't see something, you still give into that feeling like nothing is gonna work, or like you're hopeless, or like you lost the battle already and you're the one who lost it. Like you're the only one who, like you won a battle but you lost it at the same time, because you won something from, yeah, maybe you won something by not losing something, but you still lost because somebody left from your life, or yeah, I'm gonna figure this card out, because it doesn't have to be a person, but there's something that left your life, or something that you didn't wish to see gone. Like yeah, let's clarify this card. And because of that, exactly, because of this energy, this Five of Swords, you think that something is not gonna work because you keep feeding. Ah, so yeah, but the thing is, so maybe, okay, so your ex-girlfriend were, okay, yeah. So because of that breakup, you think that you will never find true love again, maybe, or you will never be just as happy or have a stable relationship or be so close and connected to that person again. So okay, you guys had a good connection because look, you're with the back of each other. So you both supported each other and had each other's back, right? But honestly, you kind of want the King and the Queen of Cups to look at each other, because they still have each other's back, because they'll see each other. Oh yeah, I'm sorry. I've always been very tough and hard on myself. So I would say that would be a loss for her then, because she cheated. That means that she didn't see your worth. And that means that it's actually no, I don't want to say you need to be happy, but you need to be glad that you didn't stay in a relationship longer with this person, to the point where the whole time this person didn't see you for your true worth, and you've just been giving and giving and giving, and then this has been going on behind your back. Like you would be building something with this person even longer and more term, you know. Yeah, I'm sorry. I'm really bad with those things like breakup advice and stuff, because I'm really a tough lover kind of girl. So it's like, F that person. Like, yeah. But anyway, there's this good news coming, because um, there's a situation that you might be going through right now. And oh, thank you. That you might be going through right now that is emotionally very heavy. Yeah. On your intuition as well. Something is hidden. That's the thing. Also, this with the Chariot, moving forward and also spiritually growing and expanding, right? You are going to evolve and you're going to get something that's hidden. So let's clear out what this Five of Swords is for the collective. What is the main thing that they felt that they lost? The Ace of Swords flew out. I saw that. The Ace of Swords and aha, okay. So your ability to... Or is it like this? No, okay. Oh my lord, the card fell. And it fell reversed, but I'm gonna pick it up straight. So, okay, the first thing that you lost is your quick thinking. You might think that you lost your ability to... How do I say this?